Hello everyone. I've had a handful of different Assassin's builds be able to clear the Ubers. She is a great character with a lot of potential for what can work when wanting to get a torch. One of those prior builds was a Trapsin, of which was a challenge to be able to make work, but it was still a lot of fun, so I wanted to give a fair chance to her other elemental trap build, the Fire Trapsin, and see if she can also clear the Ubers. And because it's been a while since I've had my favorite mercenary setup be used not only when it comes to clearing through the Ubers, but just in general play of the game, I'm having my Act 5 mercenary that could solo the Ubers join her on this run to really see the damage that they can do together. Just like with all of my other Uber videos, I will not be discussing the build in great detail here, as I have a previously made build guide where I discuss the important details and break down the build with the attributes, skill trees, gear, and the mercenary. However, I will show the details of this build so you can see how she is set up to handle this run, as there are some changes from the prior build guide to how she is now, to accommodate for the needed stats to eventually collect the torch. Feel free to pause the video to get a better look at the details and stats of anything that you may be more interested in. Here are her attributes, additional stats, skill trees, gear, and the mercenary's gear and additional stats as well. With all of that now out of the way, let's see how well the Fire Trapsin does against the Ubers.
Salutations.
There you have it. The fire Trapsin was able to run through the Ubers to get her torch. And before anyone mentions it, the mercenary was doing a lot of the heavy lifting for this run, but for good reason. I had tried with at least 6 different mercenary setups prior to this run to see how much of this run would be doable by the actual fire Trapsin. Some were better than the others. However, with her fire damage not being able to counter the health recovery of the Ubers, I needed the mercenary to pick up the slack and ensure that they would constantly be having open wounds procced. I also needed the Ubers to either be slowed with Decrepify, or for them to have life tap to help get our own health regeneration going. I tried the former using Lawbringer and a life tap wand, but it ended up being significantly more of a challenge than was necessary or tolerable for me. So I had to bring out the big stat stick with Last Wish that was the best of all worlds to aid in the mercenary survivability, but would help with keeping the Uber's health going down and bleeding combined with all the other gear, so my fire damage would be able to help with the latter half of the fights when the Crushing Blow's diminishing return would really take over. Overall, this was a fun run that I'm glad to have gotten done, and can now add to my list of builds that have been able to clear the Ubers. If you're more interested in this build, again, make sure to check out my build guide where I go over everything that you'd want to know in greater detail. The video will be linked down in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video.
If you like this kind of content and want to see more, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification to be notified whenever a new video comes out.
Come on. Come on. Come on then. There you are. There you are.
And if you like this video, please let me know by leaving a like. It really is appreciated to be able to help my channel to grow. And if you want to see more of my Diablo 2 Resurrected content, make sure to click the card in the corner up above to check out my Diablo 2 Resurrected playlist with a lot of videos already in it, with a lot more coming in the very near future. Other than that, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.